evening. I'd like to call the Borough Council meeting to order. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided under Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, specifying the time, date, and location, and to the extent known, the agenda by posting a copy of the notice in the municipal building, providing a copy to the Home News Tribune, and by filing a copy in the office of the Borough Clerk. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Zambrana.
Here.
Councilman Collins.
Here.
Councilwoman O'Donnell. Here. Councilman Peretti.
Here.
Councilman Potter.
Here.
Councilman Revelinsky.
Here.
Mayor Trina Mayor.
Here. Thank you. Please rise and join me in a moment of silence, followed by a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so now it is time for a public comment, which is limited to public comment on the resolutions listed on the agenda. If you wish to speak, please step up to the microphone and say your name and address for the record.
We have the presentation first.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not on my
Does that
script.
matter? Oh,
Sorry. Randy? Sorry. Yours. And then,
Big introduction.
sorry.
yeah, is that white thing next to it?
I will
No, next to
introduce
laptop.
the head of the Historic Preservation Committee, Randy Ruth, who has is a biannual presentation, Randy?
Yes, biannual presentation.
I apologize for the overlooking.
What is that that you gave to him? That white thing.
Anyway, there's only a few slides, so I'll get
For
started.
the
All right,
for the
we'll
slideshow.
just run over there.
There should be one that I
So anyway, thank you for allowing me to be here. And I should preface this that I did go through this, so it should be close to the 14-15 minutes without going over. And also, I'm going to talk a little bit slower than I have in the past. So good evening. I am Randy Ruth, Chairman of the Middletown Historic Preservation Committee, and I'm here tonight to present to the council the committee's no less than biannual obligation outlined by ordinance number 061243 subsection 3. Here's an outline of what is to come. What is the Middletown Historic Preservation Advisory Committee? We're going to skip criteria tonight for the sake of time. A lot of historic sites within the borough, general recommendations, outline of promotional activities, including our advisory education and informational contributions to the community, grants and funding, opportunities and how to obtain them, and then some final thoughts. So, jumping around, I didn't have this added, but this is a general promotion of what we've really put together over the past couple of years. There's really not anything all that new, except for the last part. You can see an image of it, which is the American River Railroad Station report that was put together by the committee. And it's a detailed report outlining everything that has, really, if you have a question about the American River Railroad freight station, where is it going, how's it going to happen, budgeting, plans. It's a 50-page report, including all of the architectural drawings, engineering drawings, some of the reports that were put together, or plans that were done by C&E many years ago. So it's interesting. I think it's a public record. I know I've given an older draft to Council President Bill Zambrana, but it is in its final form at this point and does include the contacts for this council as well as oncoming council personnel. So I'll get into what is the Middletown Historic Preservation Advisory Committee. The Middletown HPC is not the Middletown Historical Society. We are not focused on the history of the people and their activities. However, we are focused on supporting the Middletown Historical Society by working with them to achieve similar goals, as both groups are connected with the history of the borough. The Middletown HPC was established in December 2006 as an advisory committee to the council and planning board. However, it is not recognized by New Jersey municipal land use law, and therefore has no legal grounds to function as intended in any formal advisory manner to the planning/zoning board. Since the Milltown HPC is not legally recognized by the state, it is not eligible for state funding or other government funding programs. So Milltown boasts numerous buildings of historical significance. Of these, there are 4 structures of particular importance, which are the primary focus of tonight's discussion. The Raritan River Railroad Freight Station, currently under threat, this station holds a special place in Milltown's history. The Milltown Historical Society buildings, including the Annex Building, these buildings serve as a testament to our local history and culture. South Main Street Firehouse, a landmark that has been part of the community for generations. And the Golden Lion, a building rich and varied history, adding to the character of our town. All these structures are situated on the south side of Milltown and possess histories that are integral to the community's heritage and deserve preservation. The Historical Preservation Committee was established in 2005, largely in response to the need to protect the Raritan River Railroad Freight Station. This year marks nearly 18 years since the committee's formation, highlighting the ongoing challenge of preserving the freight station. One of the main hurdles in the preservation effort is the lack of organizing principles, which are influenced and governed by municipal laws. From the committee's inception to the present day, we have navigated these challenges, guided by the municipal land use law within reason. While the existing committee has made significant contributions, it's important to note that it lacks the authority and power of a Historic Preservation Commission. Such a commission, which requires professional involvement, is empowered by the municipal land use laws. It sets forth the rules for historic preservation and ensures equitable practices. The absence of such a commission in Milltown, due to the municipality not pursuing the necessary legislation, has hindered our efforts in securing grants and funding. The municipal land use law enables municipalities to establish a historic preservation commission. However, Milltown has not taken advantage of this provision. The first step towards establishing a commission involves incorporating a historic preservation element into the master plan. These planning elements are crucial and can have significant impacts, regardless of their uncertainty of the outcomes. The recent success of the South Main Street Rehabilitation Plan, which involved extensive review by the Planning and Zoning Board and considerable community outreach, serves as a well-thought-out example model. It demonstrates the effectiveness of well-thought-out planning and the positive outcomes that can result. A historic preservation element in the master plan plays a similar role. It establishes guidelines, sets standards, and helps in planning for the future. Contrary to misconception, it's not about dictating minor aesthetic choices like house colors. The focus is on promoting property value growth, protecting properties, and preserving cultural heritage through architectural details. It's about celebrating Milltown's past, shaping the future, and respects our history and enhancing the town's appeal to both businesses and residents. A critical current issue is the relocation of the Raritan River Railroad Station. The historic structure is presently in danger of demolition, with a deadline of looming in April. While fundraising is essential for this endeavor, the focus must shift to the logistical challenges involved. These challenges are compounded by the need for coordination with the county, especially since the proposed relocation site, a preserved open space, has previously received county support. The predicament surrounding the railroad station underscores the need for a historic preservation commission. Such a body, staffed with planning professionals, could have preemptively advised these challenges. Their expertise would provide essential advocacy for the borough in preserving its historical assets. Unfortunately, we currently lack such a commission. In light of these challenges, I urge the present mayoral administration, council, and the incoming officials to seriously consider the establishment of a historic preservation commission. This initiative should be aligned with the historic preservation element of the master plan. Although it may seem like a small step, it is crucial. It is a crucial one in safeguarding our heritage and ensuring that similar issues and proactively managed or will be proactively managed in the future. The current situation with the railroad station serves as a poignant reminder of the consequences of delayed action. We must strive to avoid finding ourselves in similar predicaments where critical decisions and actions are required at the last moment. The reactive approach not only jeopardizes our heritage, but also limits our opinions for preservation, or options for preservation. It's important to recognize that for the past 18 years, this committee has endeavored in varied capacities to advocate for and protect our town's historical assets. Despite these efforts, we find ourselves at a critical juncture. It is in many ways the end of the road for certain initiatives. This movement should serve as a catalyst for a more proactive and structured approach to historic preservation within the borough. The future of our historical sites, including the railroad station, ultimately lies in the hands of the town council and mayor, current and future. Their decisions will significantly influence the preservation of our town's history. The Milltown Historical Society buildings present a different set of challenges. Traditionally, these buildings have been maintained by the Historical Society itself through funds raised specifically for their upkeep. However, recent difficulties for the society have led to a shift in opinion. Many now believe that since these buildings are borough-owned properties, it should be the responsibility of the borough to maintain them. This makes sense, especially from a liability perspective. Without a historic preservation committee, though, there is a risk of making alterations to these buildings that are inappropriate or out of character. For example, the use of unsuitable roofing materials or structural changes that do not represent the historical context. The lack of oversight not only affects the integrity of the buildings, but also the impacts our eligibility for funding. Regardless of who bears the financial responsibility, whether it is the citizens through the Historical Society or citizens as taxpayers, securing local funding is crucial for preservation. Without a commission, our ability to manage these structures effectively and attract the necessary funding is severely limited. This highlights the importance of having a structured approach to historic preservation within the community. I urge the advancement of the historic preservation element of the master plan. This is not just a matter of preserving buildings, but leveraging our limited assets effectively. By doing so, we can ensure that our town's history is not only preserved, but also appreciated by future generations. The South Main Street Firehouse, currently encompassed within the South Main Street Rehabilitation Overlay Zone, it's actually just its own separate zone, represents another significant aspect of Milltown's history. The future of this iconic building rests squarely with the town council and mayor. The responsibility of deciding its fate is substantial and requires careful consideration, especially in the context of redevelopment proposals. It's crucial to understand the weight of the decisions surrounding such historical structures. The council's choices, both current and future, will not only shape the town's physical landscape, but also its historical integrity. Should these structures fail to be preserved or invested in, the responsibility will lie with the council as they have assumed ownership of these decisions. Integrating a historical preservation element into the master plan would facilitate proper redevelopment of these sites. It would also create a more predictable and level playing field, enabling clear guidelines on how the building should be preserved. This structured approach is vital to balancing development needs with historic preservation. Additionally, having such a preservation framework in place would increase the eligibility for grant funding for those interested in saving structures. This approach not only makes financial sense, but also aligns with the broader goal of preserving the town's cultural and architectural heritage. The Golden Lion, a landmark with over a century of history as a gathering place for the community, is facing structural challenges. This building, formerly known as the Hotel Marguerite, has undergone numerous alterations over the years. Despite its current condition, it remains a significant piece of architecture and a vital part of Milltown's history. The property owner of the Golden Lion could become eligible for preservation funding if a historic preservation element were included in the master plan. Such financial support would facilitate necessary investments into the property, benefiting both the owner and the community. This approach would also enhance access to the public funds from our county and other government sources for the property owners and other citizens. The South Main Street Rehabilitation Plan encompasses the Golden Lion, raising concerns about its future. If the property were to be sold or redeveloped, the current zoning allows for significant changes without much restriction. While the council has the final say in redevelopment within this zone, there are limitations. A proposal that conforms to the legal requirements could potentially lead to legal complications if rejected by the council for some reason. The council must be mindful of the legal implications of rejecting development proposals that meet zoning requirements. This situation highlights the delicate balance between the development rights of property owner and preserving historical structures. The Golden Line's architectural beauty, currently hidden behind vinyl siding, is a testament to its past glory as Hotel Marguerite. Once described as the most beautiful building in Milltown, on November 14, 1907, it was described as probably one of the finest and most up-to-date hotels in this vicinity, end quote. However, without a historic preservation element in the master plan, options for proactive preservation are limited. The assumption that the property's fate will lies solely with the owner is a misconception. The council, equipped with the right tools and plans, can play a crucial role in shaping the building's future, ensuring it remains a cherished public space and a symbol of Milltown's rich history. The borough has the capacity and responsibility to enable its citizens and property owners to achieve more with less. This empowerment comes through the establishment of clear and effective rules. These rules, proven to work in various communities within New Jersey, are designated or designed to facilitate growth and prosperity within the community. Thoughtful growth is essential. Without proper zoning and planning, a community risks losing control over its development. The absence of proactive measures can lead to situations where external decisions, such as judicial rulings, dictate development, particularly in matters of affordable housing. There is a common misconception that historic preservation infringes upon property owners' rights. While preservation does introduce certain complexities, it doesn't necessarily prevent property owners from making changes. Instead, it sets community-driven standards for those changes. The strength of local regulations is paramount. Even if a building is designated as a National Historic Landmark, it can still be demolished if not protected at the local level. This underscores the principle that the best interests of the community are determined by its members, not by state or federal authorities. Interestingly, the federal government's approach aligns with the concept of local autonomy. Contrary to perceptions of federal overreach, there is a significant degree of self-government allowed in matters of local heritage. This approach emphasizes the importance of local decisions in shaping a community's future, respecting the unique needs and values of each locality. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but a memo titled, "What is the difference between strong and weak commission with examples," was prepared for this council in February earlier this year, and should address any questions that you might have with regard to a commission. And lastly, thank you for your attention. I'd like to extend a thank you to the mayor.
My pleasure.
And Council President Phil Zambrana, and anybody else who has assisted with the fire alarm updates at the Milltown Historical Society. Your support for seeing this promise come to fruition is highly appreciated. Any questions?
Yeah, so Cal, we'll take council questions.
So Randy, thank you
Comment?
so much for that pretty detailed explanation of the biannual address. Just so you're aware, I did get a confirmation from John Carroll at the county that he did receive the document that you had sent, and apologize for not getting back sooner. Look to get an answer from him by the end of this week.
That is excellent news.
So we'll see what happens.
Either
Cross my fingers, I don't want to say anything until I see it, but
a response is a step in the right direction.
yes, yes.
Anyone else?
Yes. You said the South Main Street plan is a success. How does that, a success, it's a plan?
Well,
You know what they say about the best laid plans?
I think it's a very good plan. I think it's an example of asking the community and getting them involved, and you have to weigh the community's support for certain parts of it. So whether that be development, how tall buildings should be, what they'd like to see. But from a planning perspective, it really helped address and offer some protections to the firehouse, because it involved, it was the first time on record, because anecdotally I think we could all say, oh, we want to save the firehouse. Well, who wants to save the firehouse? This is the first time where members of the community came out and said, I want this saved. And you got to see that, and I don't have the raw data that was given to us. I don't know if anybody actually got the raw data from John Barry, but the numbers were significant. So I think that says something, that when, I would say at least the majority of the people there wanted to see something done with that firehouse. That is really good. That is a success for historic preservation within the community. As far as the Golden Lion is concerned, something I didn't mention, which I think is kind of interesting, is that there has been discussion prior to these pocket liquor licenses. And currently within the state of New Jersey, some of the legislation that's going on is that there needs to be reform for both breweries and the pocket licenses. So that recently got kicked back to the legislature by Governor Murphy, in part because it wasn't strong enough in the pocket licenses. So basically the legislation was only going to help breweries, not address the pocket license issue. Now, if that were to be revised and presented, and let's say we could get a pocket, let's say Milltown could take a pocket license and sell it to somebody, the way it's currently written or proposed is that you would only be able to use that pocket license in a redevelopment area. Now, I don't think anybody thought about the South Main Street rehabilitation plan and thought, we should make this a rehabilitation zone because we might want to see a pocket license with it. Nobody saw that. I mean, this is all pretty current. But the fact that you're proactive with the planning and you move that forward, and now you add more tools to the community toolkit, that enables you as and really the community, that enables them to do more because you've been proactive in the planning process. So that's why it's success.
Oh, because I thought redevelopment was only on the left side of Main Street, not the right side of Main Street.
I think you need to review, better understand that plan.
It's Washington to
Washington to
Coulthard.
Coulthard.
Both sides.
Both
Both
sides.
sides.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's already been the property where the Old Spirits property used to be has been sold. And that owner of that property is the owner of the Golden Line. So I'm not going to sit here and say the proceeds from that is going to help rehabilitate the Golden Line, but you never know. I'm not really sure.
Any other comments for Randy?
I had a question for you.
Question.
You promised to talk slower, but you get very enthusiastic, so I'm not sure if I caught this. Did you say that the town was responsible for the preservation of the railroad building?
No, they're not responsible, not directly. I think that there is a certain element or a certain burden that does fall on their shoulders because as the building, as it's proposed, would move to county property that's managed by the borough, they definitely need to be a part of the conversation. Is it their responsibility to see that it's moved? I don't believe so. I don't think so at all. But they, I think anybody with local political power, I think you can use that power and leverage that if there's a comprehensive plan. And as it stands right now, I think there's that plan that's came, honestly, before me is in one nice little package. And now I think it's easier to better understand it. So I think the burden is now greater because the vision is clearer.
Well, thank you for clarifying that.
Anyone else? Well, thank you, as always, for the excellent presentation and for all your hard work for the Milltown Historical Committee, and for the railroad station as well. You've done a lot of work on that, and it's appreciated.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
Did you grab your drives?
Okay, sorry. Now we can move on to the approval of, comments, sorry. Comments on resolution. Hold on a second. Where am I, Monica? So sorry. Now, public comment limited to resolutions on the agenda. If you wish to speak, please step up to the microphone and say your name and address for the record. Sorry. Seeing none, I will close audience comments and move on to approval of minutes. We're approving the minutes for the November 27th, 2023 meeting. Any comments or corrections? Then can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion by Councilman Potter, second by Councilwoman O'Donnell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so moved. Now, will the clerk please read Resolution 306, 2023, authorizing bill payment by title only?
Authorizing the payment of bills, claims, and statements against the Borough of Milltown in the total amount of $4,509,620.70.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
I move that the bills be approved as typed. Sorry.
I have a motion by Councilwoman O'Donnell, second by Council President Zambrana. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor. On page 9, it says Optima for the senior citizens, and apparently that doesn't work from what I was told. So are we paying $293 for something that's not working? Is that the TV? I mean, Optima, it should be TV, right?
It's Wi-Fi, right?
Could it be Wi-Fi?
Could be.
Could be a combination of cable and internet, John.
Yeah, but they're saying the cable doesn't work down there.
Who said that?
Bob Skarzinski.
Did he reach out to anyone in the borough?
No, that's what he's waiting for. You're the
How-
senior liaison, Phil.
Bob hasn't reached out to me and told me that Optimum isn't working, John.
So
He told
Phil,
me.
can you look into that?
Sure.
He told me it's not working, so
Well, that's good to hear now.
better late than never.
I'm sorry, the TV or the internet's not working?
What's that?
What's not working? I didn't catch
Yeah.
that.
TV at the senior center says it's not
Optimum
working.
service.
We're paying $300 a month. I mean, what, $293
No,
actually.
we're paying for internet.
Yeah. So, will Phil look into it? I'm sure I wouldn't imagine it's been months and months that it's been out, but to your point, we don't want to pay for something that doesn't work, but
Sure.
it should be there. Anything else on the bills? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Zambrana.
Aye.
Councilman Collins.
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell.
Aye.
Councilman Peretti.
Aye.
Councilman Potter.
Aye.
Councilman Revelinsky.
So moved. The resolution is adopted. Next, we have the consent agenda. A consent resolution has been prepared for the resolutions listed on the agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature, and having been reviewed by the Borough Council, will be enacted by one motion. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any council member, and if so removed, will be treated as a separate matter. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of funds. If any member of the council wants any resolution acted upon individually, please give me the resolution number, and it will be pulled from the consent agenda.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'd like to pull 313-2023 and 316-2023.
313 and 316?
That's correct.
Okay. Anyone else?
308, 309, and 310, please.
308, 309, and 310. Any others? Okay. Will the clerk please read the consent resolution?
As long as I'm just trying to figure out what we didn't pull.
11, 12, 13.
11, 12, 14,
Yeah, 11, 12,
15,
14,
and
15,
17.
17.
Oh, we pulled a 16.
60.
Okay. Whereas pursuant to the rules of council, the council may establish a consent agenda for any regular or special meetings upon certain conditions, and whereas each of the following resolutions to be presented before Borough Council at its December 11, 2023 regular meeting appear to have the unanimous approval of all members of the Borough Council, 313, 312, 314, 315, 317. Now therefore be it resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Milltown that each of the above listed resolutions be approved and adopted by the Borough Council with the same legal effect as though each was read in its entirety at the December 11th, 2023 regular meeting and adopted by separate votes.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Madam Mayor, make a motion that these resolutions be adopted.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Potter, second by Councilman Revelinsky. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Zambrana.
Aye.
Councilman Collins.
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell.
Aye.
Councilman Peretti.
Aye.
Councilman Potter.
Aye.
Councilman Revelinsky.
Aye.
So moved. Will the clerk please read Resolution 308, 2023 by title?
308, 2023, authorizing winter termination program.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Madam Mayor, make a motion that this resolution be adopted.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Potter, second by Councilwoman O'Donnell. Any discussion?
Yes, I asked for this one to be pulled. I have a couple questions about it. I understand there's a New Jersey state statute associated with this, and what it is that we can't shut off someone's water service or utilities, for that matter, between November 15th and March 15th for lack of payment. And I don't see anything in here, but I'm wondering, does this require payment to be made in full or them to be current prior to November 15th?
No.
And what is the recourse, or when does our current ordinances permit us to shut off service? Because if someone's not in full by November 15th, and then we allow them to go through the winter
Tax sale.
months,
Tax sale is the method of collection.
and how long in advance is that?
The tax sale, we just had a tax sale, and that would have collected prior year delinquencies. That's how it works with the standard sale that we have here. So it could be, 18 months.
Do you know what the interest rate we get from that is, Jeanette?
It's 8% on the first 1,500, 18% on amounts over.
Thank you.
Anything else? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Zambrana.
Aye.
Councilman Collins.
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell.
Aye.
Councilman Peretti.
Aye.
Councilman Potter.
Aye.
Councilman Revelinsky.
Aye.
Next, will the clerk please read Resolution 309, 2023 by title?
Authorizing the Borough Engineer to request an extension of time to award project for municipal aid program grant through the Transportation Trust Fund Act.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that this resolution be adopted.
Second. I have a motion by Councilman Potter, second by Councilman Peretti. Any discussion?
Yes, I asked for this one to be pulled because I see on here that the 1-month extension of time is from October 21st to November 21st, so I'm wondering how we are now asking for an extension of time for a period that had already passed us, and why we hadn't done it sooner.
I can answer that. The DOT originally didn't believe any resolution was necessary. This is just a formality. It was one of the things they required. As you know, their project's been awarded to the contractor, just a formality in their process, that's all.
Anyone else? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Zambrana.
Aye.
Councilman Collins.
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell.
Aye.
Councilman Peretti.
Aye.
Councilman Potter.
Aye.
Councilman Revelinsky.
Aye.
Will the clerk please read Resolution 310, 2023 by title?
Authorizing submission of grant application American Rescue Plan, Milltown Fire Department.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that this resolution be adopted.
I second.
Have a motion by Councilman Potter, second by Councilwoman O'Donnell. Any discussion?
Just curious about this one. In my discussions with the fire department, I was informed that this was due by the 8th. So did we already submit this into the
No, it was
state?
extended till the 21st. So it'll be.
And that was an extension by the state?
Yes, yes. It'll be submitted tomorrow.
If it's adopted.
Any other discussion?
Get the resolution.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Zambrana.
Aye.
Councilman Collins.
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell.
Aye.
Councilman Peretti.
Aye.
Councilman Potter.
Aye.
Councilman Revelinsky.
Aye.
So moved. Next, will the clerk read Resolution 313, 2023 by title?
Authorizing personnel action, Deputy Municipal Clerk.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that this resolution be adopted.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Potter, second by Council President Zambrana. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I had a question on this. Why didn't this one go to the Personnel Committee?
It's not a department head.
Yeah, but I mean, the code enforcer isn't a department head, is he?
Yes.
John, are you saying that this wasn't discussed within the Personnel Committee?
Right.
No, this was discussed.
Well, it was
during the
discussed, but
Personnel
it wasn't
Committee.
approved.
This was discussed within a Personnel Committee meeting at the same time that we were looking for our borough clerk.
Right, but we didn't get any resumes or anything.
We don't get all,
Again,
we do
don't.
department
It's not a
head.
department head. It's been budgeted since the beginning of the year. The plan has been the entire year to appoint someone by the end of the year.
Did you have a question about any of the other people that we hired? Did you see the resume for the crossing guard or the electric utility department person or the police department
No, I mean, we
person?
had discussed this, but that was the end of it. I mean, we never came up with that. I should have asked, it's my fault.
But we don't get every single resume. We leave it to the department head to do some of the hiring. But
Right,
the
we
department heads.
used to interview the police too, so they're not department heads.
You interview, I don't recall ever interviewing a police.
No, the police, the chief, and they do bring in candidates.
Yeah, but not
But not,
the
yeah.
personnel committee. No. Nope.
I'm just,
Sorry, John.
I'm curious about this one in regards to the salary range, and does that fall within the limits of our salary ordinance for that position?
Yes.
And this is a union position?
Non-union.
Non-union. Was it traditionally a non-union position?
We haven't had a deputy clerk before. The reason that this actually got discussed in the beginning of the year, and the position was budgeted for. We went out for, we posted the ad earlier in the year. We got a handful of applications. Nobody had experience, and the clerk at that time didn't want to bring somebody in that didn't have experience because they didn't want to train that person. The reason that we want a deputy is because only the clerk can conduct a meeting, only the clerk can do certain things, so a deputy clerk can step in that instance. So it's really important when we have such a staffing limitations, that if you're gonna have 2 people in that office, then that's the roles that you should have, so that there is an overlap.
So that if Miss Orlando decided to take a little hiatus to Italy, she could?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious, though, about the civil service standard, and then
Well, it's still
this
civil
falls...
service.
It's still under the
yes,
civil
it's
service
just not
guidelines?
It's just not a union position, that's all.
Okay.
Because it's confidential.
Do you know when this person's supposed to start?
January 2nd.
January 2nd? I just, you know, figured wait till next year to do this, I don't know.
Well, we do have a pending retirement also, so time is of the essence. If we wait until next year, then it's just that much longer. That's the reason why.
Any other comment? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Zambrana.
Aye.
Councilman Collins.
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell.
Aye.
Councilman Peretti.
Aye.
Councilman Potter.
Aye.
Councilman Revelinsky.
Aye.
And will the clerk please read Resolution 316, 2023 by title?
Authorizing disclosure of award of contract, tree trimming and removal services, Rich's Tree Service not to exceed $25,000.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Madam Mayor,
Move
make
that
a motion this resolution be adopted.
My goodness.
Nice. Who's going to second?
In stereophonic sound.
We were in sync on that one. I'll take the second.
Okay, so I have a motion by Councilman Revelinsky, second by Councilman Potter. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I was wondering why we didn't go out to bid? Because, I mean, we bid the sidewalk in the front.
It's a state contract. Once the expenditures go over the $17,500 threshold, they have to do pay-to-pay paperwork, which is what this is.
Oh, so that's all this is?
Which is attached to the backup detail.
Exactly, to their expenditures, yeah.
Right, I read that, yeah.
Anything else? Anyone else? Will the clerk please
Can I
call
ask
the...
him a question?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Is this for a set number of trees?
No,
Or
this
just an
is
amount?
just, yeah,
Just an
this
amount?
is, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Zambrana.
Aye.
Councilman Collins.
Aye.
Councilman O'Donnell.
Aye.
Councilman Peretti.
Aye.
Councilman Potter.
Aye.
Councilman Revelinsky.
Aye.
So moved. Next, we will move on to the reports from the officials, and we'll begin with Councilwoman Margaret O'Donnell.
Just want to remind everyone that last time I gave back some time because I knew I'd have long reports this time. I've concluded each year of my service as a councilwoman with a brief year in review. But since I also have the actual reports from those departments, it might be a little longer. I promise I'll send you something written.
We have another meeting.
We have one more
On the
meeting.
26th, we will be meeting.
Okay, this is from Lieutenant and Acting Chief Christopher Johnson. Between November 8th and December 1st, police responded to 845 calls for service. During this period, police conducted 71 radar details in numerous locations. Police made 208 motor vehicle stops during this period, and police investigated 12 motor vehicle accidents. 7 arrests were made, which included shoplifting, endangering the welfare of children, burglary, receiving stolen property, driving while intoxicated, and active arrest warrants. There is good news, though. We have a commendation. I made a brief reference to this because it was hot off the presses news at the last meeting, but we'd like to, this will provide some more detail for you. We'd like to commend the actions of Patrolman Michael McCabe for his recent arrest of a serial car burglar. On November 22nd, 2023, Patrolman McCabe volunteered to go on a late-night, multi-hour foot patrol throughout Milltown in an effort to catch a suspect who had been breaking into unlocked parked cars over the past few weeks. His hard work paid off when he found the suspect walking out of Milltown near the North Brunswick border. The suspect, later identified as a 23-year-old male from North Brunswick, was arrested and charged with 10 counts of burglary and receiving stolen property. At the time of his arrest, the suspect was in possession of items he had stolen the same night. The suspect was later turned over to the Middlesex County Adult Correctional Center. Residents are reminded to always lock their vehicle doors, hide valuables from view, and to remove key fobs. It's also encouraged to not leave garage door openers inside the vehicles that would allow criminals access to your home. I actually saw Patrolman McCabe this evening and thanked him, and he very humbly said, just my job, just what we do around here. We have some retirements to announce as well. The officers and staff of the Milltown Police Department would like to congratulate Chief Brian Kennelly and Lieutenant Daniel Canoni on their upcoming retirements at the end of December 2023. Chief Kennelly served our community as a police officer with the Milltown Police Department for 26 years. His hard work, dedication, and leadership will be missed by all of us. Lieutenant Canoni served our community as a police officer with the Milltown Police Department for 25 years, and he too will have his hard work, dedication, and leadership equally missed by all of us. We wish them both long, happy, and healthy retirements. From the Office of Emergency Management, we completed an Emergency Protective Measures Grant and were awarded $31,620 through FEMA. The grant and project involved the use of our solar-powered signboards displaying COVID-19 information during the pandemic. We thank everyone for their patience and understanding during the PSE&G utility, the long PSE&G utility road project. Road repaving is planned for the spring of 2024. A note about winter storm parking and snow removal. As we approach the winter season, residents are reminded to follow the borough ordinances regarding parking and snow removal. After 1 hour of continuous accumulating snow, no person shall park, stop, or leave an abandoned vehicle on any borough street. Please help our public works crews by moving your vehicles as required so they can effectively and safely plow our streets. Vehicles that are left on the roadways may be ticketed and towed. Within 24 hours of a snowstorm, residents must shovel the sidewalks in front of their homes. Many children walk to school and are adversely affected when residents fail to shovel the sidewalks. Reminder, it is prohibited to throw ice or snow on any borough street. The Milltown Police Department is hiring. There's a need for part-time school crossing guards. The position is part-time with very flexible hours. Be a role model for the children and come join our team. Applications can be found at the Borough website, and for more information about the position, please contact Acting Lieutenant Carmen DiLorenzo at cdilorenzo@milltownpd.org. And in conclusion, please continue to report suspicious activity, traffic concerns, and non-emergent type calls to 732-828-1100. Emergency and life-threatening calls, use 911. Any concerns and/or complaints can be submitted by using the official borough website or by calling Milltown Police directly. And the police department would like to wish everyone a happy and safe holiday season. All right, you sure we're definitely having the next meeting? Okay. Then I will spare you all the year in review until that time. All right. It'll be worth waiting for. From the Milltown Fire Department, Chief Ray Jolly. This month there were 3 drills, 1 meeting, 11 fire calls, 2 special assignments, 4 work details for a total of 21 incidents, 293 incidents year-to-date, and 4,178.1 man-hours to date. The nature of the fire calls included 4 that involved ovens, stove, or kitchens, anything from odor of gas to an actual structure fire. There were 2 car fires, an activated fire alarm. There was a mutual aid call to Edison, and those types of mutual aid usually involve standing by at that town's house while that town is fighting their own fire. But in this case, they were on standby, and then they went in as a relief crew on the scene as well. And there was also a brush fire in a flower pot. The work details included 4 equipment checks. The drills included Engine 63's Cascade System operation, some saw operations, and some treat packing for the tree lighting. The special assignments included Engine 72 and Ladder 73 detailing, and I don't know what this means, but the mezzanine gym assembly. I'll get more detail on that. We just heard about the American Rescue Plan firefighter grant, and that money, if we get it, would be used for the purchase of turnout gear. Training is ongoing, vehicle maintenance is up to date. In terms of building and grounds, grave blankets were placed at the memorial site. And as I often conclude, announcement for the council meeting, members are needed. Candidates interested in joining the Milltown Fire Department are encouraged to stop by the firehouse on Monday nights at 6:30 or email join@milltownfire@gmail.com. And from the rescue squad, from Captain Will Kaplan. In November, there were 89 total calls, 54 here in town, 14 on the turnpike, and 21 in the form of mutual aid. 2 members became EMTs this month. Another 4 members are expected to graduate in the coming weeks, and this brings the total number of new EMTs in the organization to 7 for 2023. The rescue squad will be helping the fire department escort Santa around town on December 23rd, starting at 6 p.m. Listen up for the sirens as we make our way to your neighborhood. If anyone has any billing questions, they should call Cornerstone, our billing company, with any questions or concerns. Their number is 877-214-6018. You can also get to their website by visiting the Milltown Rescue Squad website, which is milltownrescuesquad.org. Please do not call the Milltown Police Department with questions about billing or recruitment. The Milltown Rescue Squad will begin accepting applications for the spring onboarding process in January. Anyone who's interested in learning about joining the Rescue Squad or becoming an EMT should email recruitment@milltownrescuesquad.org to learn more, and the squad is always happy to answer any questions about that. And this I'm going to read as a quote from Captain Will Kaplan. Finally, we want to thank the outgoing council members and Mayor for their continued support of the Milltown Rescue Squad while they were in office. This one's hard to say, but we especially want to recognize Councilwoman O'Donnell, who served as a liaison for this past year, for supporting us and the rest of the Milltown public safety community. It was a pleasure working with you all. And that concludes those reports. Everything else, I think I'll wait when we definitely have that next meeting, so.
That's, yeah, but it's on Tuesday, the 26th. Tuesday. That's the next one. Okay, thank you, Lauren. Next, we will move on to Councilman Dave Potter.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For the Milltown Electric Department, submitted by John Eckert, 6 very large trees that were diseased and threatening power lines were removed. Line clearance was also performed on 5 streets to keep limbs away from the power lines. Linemen responded to 8 calls for broken street lights, 6 lights were repaired, and 2 were replaced with energy-efficient LED fixtures. A pole transfer was performed on Harrison Avenue at a location where a broken pole was recently set. One broken electric meter was replaced. Holiday decorative lighting was refurbished and installed on utility poles and in the municipal building parking lot. American flags were removed from utility poles and returned to the American Legion. The Boy Scouts Christmas tree trailer was provided with electric service. Abandoned telco and cable wires were removed from several poles. Department members responded to several calls of down wires. Bucket truck number 9 has been sent out again for warranty repair. An LED floodlight was replaced and one was repaired at Gloria Bradford Park in preparation for the Winter Festival. The borough's 4 diesel generators were inspected and tested by the utility department members. Various power problems were evaluated throughout the borough. The utility department worked with the billing department to troubleshoot billing disputes throughout the month, and a house service was relocated on the dwelling that was being altered. And Madam Mayor, I'd like to also welcome a new member to the department with the approval of Resolution 311, 2023. We have a new laborer in the electric department.
great.
So we're up one more.
Yep.
Excellent to hear. From the Water Sewer Department, submitted by Don Herman. PSE&G has completed the work throughout the town which required markouts. Monitoring of pump stations occurs on a regular schedule. Church Street Pump Station Pump 2A is being repaired. The water main relining and replacement program on Highland Drive is complete. The road restoration will be done in the spring. Water main break repairs were done on Desmond and Bernhardt, and other repairs were made on Miller's Lane and Harkins. Hydrant flushing has been completed. Dates and times were posted on Channel 15, the electronic board, out front, the home news, and through Nixle. If anyone isn't signed up to receive notices through Nixle, email and text messages, please go to nixle.com to register. And a reminder, when doing your holiday cooking, please do not dump any cooking grease down your sink, even if you run hot water, because it can clog your pipes as well as your neighbor's pipes. All grease should be put in the garbage. Madam Mayor, regarding the Utilities Committee, on November 30th, the Utilities Committee had an internal end-of-year wrap-up meeting with CME to go through completed, ongoing, and future projects and outstanding items. This information will be shared with the new administration's Utilities Committee in the upcoming year. Planning Board, the last meeting of the year was on December 6th. The next scheduled meeting will be the reorg meeting, which is scheduled for January 3rd. And for 4th of July, the committee is in the midst of planning next year's event and will be coming to council early next year to present the plans for the day and receive council's approval. And that concludes my report.
Great, thank you. Next, we will move on to Councilman Rich Revelinsky.
Thank you. I'm going to start off with pretending to be our library director, Charlie Leckenby. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here tonight, but he did want me to read this, so I won't do an impersonation, but these words are from him. Dear Milltown Borough Council, I would like to thank all of you for the support you have given the Milltown Public Library since I started here in February of 2022. I especially want to thank you for approving the funds to pay for the library's new roof. Without that approval, there is no way we could have managed to fund it. We are set for many years now without worrying about leaks. Your support, both financial and in person, you made great pie judges, shows how valuable the library is to this community. My hope is that we continue to grow in ways that give Milltown a place that it can be proud of and somewhere everyone feels welcome and safe. Happy holidays and good luck to those of you moving on to new adventures. Kind regards, Charlie Leckenby. Mr. Leckenby would also like me to announce a couple of upcoming events. The first one everyone should probably mark their calendar for is Wednesday, December 13th, Holiday Stress Management. Doesn't that sound good? Holiday Stress Management, Wednesday, December 13th. Winter Bingo, it is so much fun, Saturday, December 16th. And Tween Craft and Movie, Monday, December 18th. And please, council members and borough, happy holidays, enjoy, safe and healthy. Report from the DPW for this evening. The DPW crews continue to keep low-hanging and dead branches trimmed. Christmas tree pickup will begin on Monday, January 8th. Please be sure to remove all lights, decorations, and tinsel, if you can. Please do not put the tree in plastic bags. Street sweeping has taken place and is ongoing to meet DEP regulations. Catch basin and outfall pipe cleaning has taken place to meet DEP stormwater regulations. The Department of Public Works hung the holiday decorations on Main Street, and crews decorated Borough Hall in advancement of the Christmas tree lighting for the annual festivities. Leaf cleanup has begun to take place at Borough Park and the Senior Center, as well as Borough Hall. The staff continue to stay on top of any potholes that need to be repaired, and if you have one, please don't hesitate to report a concern on the Borough website. Leaf bags remain available at the DPW building at Washington Avenue. They can be picked up Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Trees were removed on Stardub, Cortland, Bear, Desmet, Chestnut, and Janet. Tree removal and trimming is ongoing and follows the shade tree application list. The DPW supplied a crew to help with the water main breaks and repairs, and 2 public parking signs were installed at the library. Next recycling dates are December 14th, that's this week, and the Thursday after Christmas, December 28th. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Do you know how long they keep the, giving out the leaf bag? Like,
Until
when does it
they're
end?
Until everything's.
Until they're gone. Yeah.
They're always there?
Yeah, they've stopped with the weekend pickup, the extra time on the weekends to pick them up, so it is just 8
No,
to 3.
I mean, how long do they have them for pickup over at the DPW? Like, you can go any time of the year and pick them up?
Yeah, I mean, until they're gone, typically, there's always a few still straggling around.
Okay. I just spent 3 hours raking that. May need more. All right, thank you. Next, we have Councilman John Collins.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was just reporting on the Environmental Committee on the November 29th, 2023. The Schwinneman cabin, the cabin logs were cleaned, and they pulled out the cracked mortar and repaired it. The chimney was cleaned and washed. They were asking questions about the Christopher Street. Maybe Peter, do you know how long they have to submit a plan to the planning board? Maybe Dave?
Don't know anything about it.
The planning,
So
Christopher Street.
there is a,
6 months or?
well, right now, there's an application in front of the planning board right now. So I really would not want to discuss anything on this board.
I would recommend that too if there is a pending application.
Thank you.
No, I just was wondering, it's been postponed for a couple of times. I was wondering, is there a certain?
I don't know the circumstances surrounding the postponement because I don't handle your planning board, so I can look into it and try to get you an answer, but really, there is no set amount of time that you know, it's more of the board has to hear it within a certain amount of time if
Exactly.
the applicant's ready. If the applicant is asking for the adjournment for some reason, typically they would get that from the board.
I can tell you this, it was brought up at the last planning board meeting, and it'll be in the February's planning board meeting.
Yes,
That's
the
what-
applicant was fine with the extension, so it was carried to the February meeting, so it's not being done during reorg.
Thanks.
Yep.
And they were asking for bids for a roof repair for the log cabin. Is that possible? We can get that because they do have a grant?
I think we had the architectural plan submitted to this council, right? Or the architect, or
Yeah.
bids for architecture.
Yeah, to do the architectural analysis before
Have
we.
you ever heard back from that architect?
We did. I made a recommendation to council several months ago, and Councilman Zambrano wanted to hold another meeting. I've heard nothing further on that.
I think, so John, I
So-
think we have
Bids from
the council has to
architect?
accept an
The roof.
architecture first.
You mean the bid
Yeah, what happened?
that you accepted?
From the architect?
Yeah, the bid you accepted.
Right.
Right.
What's the report?
I'm not the liaison, you're the liaison for environmental. So,
Wait a second.
would you like me to step in and try to get you
No,
some
that's-
information?
Hold on. I made the recommendation that we move forward with an award, and Councilman Zambrano, you wanted to pull back and say, I think we need
No,
more time.
I agreed, I had no,
Well,
I
you-
did not say you can't stop, you can't go. I'm fine.
These people are waiting to work, I'm trying to
Can we
get.
put it on for the December 26th meeting then, to make the award to that
I
firm,
just need
please?
to know who, and then certainly we can do that.
Thank you.
We had a choice of 4, right?
Yeah, they were given all the proposals, so just let me know who.
You got a
and
choice of 4,
we'll
you
get them on.
picked one. That's all you have to do, forward it to our BA, CFO,
We
and
all-
you'll move forward.
Okay, good enough.
Perfect. We'll just need all the paperwork that they submitted.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have it all.
yeah, we have that.
Or it's in there.
So now we're still in your comments, Councilman Collins.
Right, no problem. And then they were talking about a location for the dog park. And I don't know where they're gonna put that, but they had that idea, a lot of people are kicking that idea around town. And they're looking for Bigger and Better Earth Day celebration, April 2024. And where's my other notes here? I got the Board of Health meeting. I'll go over the vital statistics. Statistics are always good. This is for the month of September: births 6, deaths 4, marriages 6, remarriages 0, civil unions 0. For the month of October 2023, births 8, deaths 4, marriages 3, remarriages 0, civil unions 0. And that concludes my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
I have a question for Councilman Collins. Are you able to, since you liaise with the county health person, are you able to ask them for some baggies for loose pills that are put in the medication drop by the police? Someone noticed that there were some loose pills on the ground, so they thought the person probably tried to dump them in. And maybe we could have something there. If you could see if that's a thing that the county health department
Sure.
does. Thank you.
No problem. It's a good idea.
Next, we have Councilman James Peretti.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So from the Recreation Department, adult yoga, men's basketball, and women's volleyball winter registrations are all still available and open. Youth basketball registration has been opened and the registration deadline is approaching. It is December 29th. The program will begin in January on January 20th, and we always welcome our volunteer coaches who make the programs very special for our children. We're excited to hold our first family holiday movie night at Parkview School on Friday, December 15th. You must be registered on Community Pass to attend. There is no cost. Also, you're encouraged to wear your pajamas that night. We ran our first Holiday Hershey Kiss contest. Thank you to all our participants, and congratulations to our 6 winners. Enjoy your prize. On Friday, December 1st, the department had their annual tree lighting, and even though the weather wasn't in our favor, it was a huge success. We would like to thank everyone that came out to support our kickoff to this holiday season. A special thank you to the following individuals: Mayor Trina Mayer for lighting our tree with our special guest, the Remax team for the wonderful display with hot chocolate, cookies, and the TV raffle, Mr. Gary Rittman with Toys for Tots, Ms. Angeli and the Joyce Kilmer Band, Ralph Jesnowski and his amazing DPW crew, Russ Einbinder for supplying our sound system and loaning us tents for all to stay dry. And last but not least, Milltown Fire Department for delivering Santa safe and sound to help light up Milltown and the wonderful treat bags for all the kids to enjoy. 2024 is fast approaching, and the department has partnered with the Mad Science to offer half and full day programs when the school is closed. So for parents looking to try to figure out what to do with their children on the days that the schools are closed in the month of January and February. The following days, January 15th, February 16th, and February 19th. There will be, again, half-day and full-day Mad Science programs. Please visit Community Pass to register, and you can find more detailed information about those offerings on the website. The Milltown Recreation Department would like to thank everyone for your support this past year, and we can't wait to kick off 2024. Hope you and your families have a safe and happy holiday. Please be sure to visit our recreation webpage at milltownnj.org/recreation to familiarize yourself with upcoming programs and new activities, along with our beautiful park locations. To register for any of our programs, you can follow a link from the Milltown website to the register.capturepoint website, which is our Community Pass website. Please help us continue to make Milltown Recreation a community in motion. And again, ad nauseum, a plug for the end of the year. We're about to enter into the 2024 calendar year, and reorg, as mentioned a few times. Make sure you submit your citizen leadership application if you're interested in joining any of our committees and commissions. That's what we're reporting on. We had a great presentation from one of our committee members today. So if you're interested in getting involved more with Milltown, that's the way to do it. Submit the application online. It's a fillable PDF. And hopefully you can get more involved with our great committees that are offered throughout town. And then again, just a reminder, people forget a lot of stuff going into the holiday season, so get it in as early as possible. Even if you think, yes, there's something I'm interested in, go home, do it tonight. And that concludes my reports.
Okay, thank you. Next, we go to Council President Phil Zambrano.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I do not have any sort of finance report tonight. The next Ford Avenue Redevelopment Agency meeting will be next Tuesday, the 19th at 7 p.m. The last Ford Avenue Redevelopment Agency meeting was the resumption of actually taping the meeting and putting it on Channel 15 and on YouTube, so folks can't make it to the meeting, they could always look at it online. The Milltown Historical Preservation Committee meeting, next one will be Thursday, December 28th. Thanks again to Randy Ruth for giving that presentation tonight. And also would like to give a shout out to the Milltown Historical Society, which this past Saturday had their holiday concert at the St. Paul's Lower Annex. Myself and Councilman Potter were there. They wanted to thank the council for putting in new alarm systems so that the society houses could be open, and also with making sure that the back stairs were prepared so that additional egress and egress was available. And my last report is about the Milltown Senior Center. Quick update on December. Many activities go on, the Office of Aging, that run through the Office of Aging for those 60 or older. Among those are line dancing, chair yoga, billiards, walk aerobics, men's club, chorus, Spanish, arts and crafts, bingo, sweating with the oldies, and a monthly visit from the VNA nurse. And as always, there is no cost to any Milltown resident to see the VNA nurse. Senior Center also offers the opportunity to join the Milltown Senior Citizens Club. You can contact Bob Skarzinski at 732-296-1159. You do not have to join the Senior Citizens Club to participate in the Office of Aging programs or activities. List of upcoming activities, just today, Monday. There was a movie time at 12:30 p.m. at the Senior Center. Next Monday, there will be a social services bingo at 12:30 p.m. And the VNA nurse will be at the Senior Center next Tuesday, the 19th, from 12 to 3 p.m. Again, free service for Milltown seniors. Just a reminder that the Senior Center will be closed on Monday, December 25th for Christmas. They will also be closing on Friday, December 22nd, and Friday, the 29th, at 12 p.m. for Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, respectively. And there's a short list of bus trips still available in December. This coming Wednesday, there will be a bus trip to Monmouth Kitchen. The bus will leave the Senior Center at 11:15 a.m. On the Tuesday, the 19th, there will be a bus trip to Delicious Orchards. The bus will leave the Senior Center at 9:30 a.m. On Thursday, the 21st, there will be a bus trip to the Amish Market. The bus will leave the Senior Center at 9:30. And finally, on Thursday, the 29th, there will be a bus trip to Nassau Diner in Princeton. The bus will leave the Senior Center at 11:15 a.m. Just a reminder that the bus is always available for anyone for rides to and from medical appointments for seniors. Anyone can contact Debbie Cuddy at 732-296-0681 in advance to schedule any appointments. And as with all trips and presentations, there's a sign-up sheet on the bulletin board at the Senior Center. If you're interested in participating, you can always call Debbie at the 732-296-0681 number and register, also via email at dcuddy@milltownborough.com. Any additional Senior Center activities can always be viewed by accessing the Borough website at milltownnj.org and navigating to the Senior Center pages. And that concludes my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And Ms. Cuddy is in charge of the Senior Center,
Yes,
correct?
she is.
So she may be the one somebody should talk to about the Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Right, she's the employee. Okay. Next, we'll move on to the Borough Administrator, Ms. Jeanette Larison. Any report?
No report tonight.
Then our Borough Attorney, Mr. Vignola.
Nothing for me tonight.
Okay. And our Borough Engineer, Mr. McClellan. Or Lou. Wisconsin.
Just one item tonight, Madam Mayor. The West Foch Avenue project, the contractor has returned contracts, bonds, and insurance to our office. They're under review. Once they are in order, we'll be scheduling a pre-construction meeting for the project.
Great, thank you. All right, any questions? No. Okay, on to me. So I'd like to congratulate, we have some new hires. It's good to see a cross-section of all the different departments getting coverage and getting up to speed, and we welcome all of those folks to the Borough of Milltown. As we've heard through all these reports, we've had a busy couple of weeks. I would like to thank for the tree lighting, the DPW, who did a great job putting all the lights up around town, and especially here at Borough Hall. The Rec Department did a fantastic job organizing, the Milltown Fire Department, as always, for escorting Santa in, and the PBA also, because they do the letters for Santa. And I especially want to thank my special guest, Lauren, who was a tremendous help with Santa, helping Santa and I light the tree, and she was a true delight. So I wish all of the children of Milltown and all of the families a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday season. So thanks for that. The Winter Wonderland, the next night, sponsored by the MEF, was a fantastic addition to Milltown. It looked like a lot of people were having fun over there, so that's great to see. And I really appreciate Councilman Revelinsky reading the letter from the library. I can look over at the council president and the chair of the finance committee and say thank you for visualizing and implementing our capital plan. I know I have been on the council for 6 years now, and it's nice to see something that has been needed for all that time finally get done because of the planning of the
Can't take any
finance
credit for
committee.
that. That was Councilwoman O'Donnell who pushed for that and made sure that it got into the budget.
Oh, that's right, because it started last year. Yeah, yes. So thank you all, and to the BA CFO for implementing that, so we appreciate it. Anything else from me? Well, I have one more chance at the end, so, and one more meeting, right? December 26th. I'm sure that's all, what you all wanted to do, is come back the day after Christmas, but anyway, well, now we will move on to old business. Does any member of the council have any old business to bring before us this evening?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we received an email last Friday, which was pretty unsettling, and then a call from Councilman Zambrana that I received this week on Wednesday with regard to moving forward with the joint insurance funds. As a result of that call, I did a little additional digging. I reached out to the Garden State JIF, Mr. Jonathan Hall. I also reached out to the Central Jersey JIF, which seemed like the two most likely candidates, because there appears to be some confusion. And I'd like to say that Miss Amy Peroni is here tonight from the Central Jersey JIF to answer any questions we may have. In short, the email that I received last week on Friday basically said that because we didn't appoint a risk management chair for next year, we would have no insurance coverage for January 1st.
That's not what it said.
Okay.
Does
What
the
did it
finance
say,
committee
Rich? What
want
did
to
it say?
weigh in
It
on
said
this?
that we would have to go with.
It said you'll have to go back with
Right.
Middlesex County JIF, which we all know because of its financial insolvency is not an option that's on the table. So, again, when Mr. Zambrana called me, or Council President Zambrana called me, he said, so obviously then you're in favor of not having insurance for the town in January. And I said, no, that is not the case. Please don't twist my words around. So
Councilman
that we can
Revelinsky.
all educate ourselves and get the full scope here together instead of one meeting and playing a game of phone tag. If anyone has any questions about the process of appointing a risk management professional or the JIF and how we have to move forward, Ms. Peroni is here to answer any questions we may have. So I would like to start off with a few. Ms. Peroni, if you wouldn't mind coming up for me. And if you could state your name and address for the record so that we have to.
Excuse me, I think the council would like to speak first, and then Ms. Peroni, if you would come up, if any of the council have any questions, so if you wouldn't mind taking a seat.
Thank you.
And then we will let the council discuss first, because I believe this is more of an internal council
Yeah.
thing than a outside, so.
So Councilman Revelinsky, we're going to be, the Finance Committee is going to be scheduling a meeting early next week. Could be Thursday of this week, but probably early next week, to kind of look at our options to see what we're doing moving forward. You will be totally kept in the loop as to what's going on. I appreciate Ms. Peroni being here. I really don't have any questions to ask of her yet.
Well, last week, it seemed pretty clear that you were under the impression that if we didn't have a risk management chair, that we would have no insurance January 1st.
So I also knew that there's 2 meetings in December, so I really wasn't worried. My concern was that you were out of New Jersey. You were on site. That's why I reached out to you. We did have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We did say we would talk before we got back. We didn't have that opportunity, but we will have that opportunity before the next council meeting.
Well, so the next council meeting is what? We've got
26th.
somewhat unusual for December 26th. which again, I'll be out of town for visiting family for the holidays.
That's good to
but
know,
I'll-
but that's-
I'll be- I will
that's good to
certainly
know.
make myself available by phone, but
Yeah, that's good to know.
obviously, whatever is going to be on that agenda, I think we should start discussing now so that we're
It's
prepared.
good to know that you won't be around, so that we'll make sure that we get that information to you, sooner rather than later.
So what are we going to be discussing then on the 26th? What is on the agenda for the 26th?
Once the finance committee meets, I will let you know.
So it's doors shut until the finance committee meets and can report back to everyone else?
That's what the committee
With an issue
structure.
that's been going on for several months?
That's how we've kind of been doing.
After an email
we've been
that
doing all year.
says, basically
We do everything
threatening me,
by
saying
committee.
that we're going to go with Middlesex County JIF, which...
No, not at all. Not at all.
So
No?
I'll jump in. I'll
Yeah,
jump in.
okay.
So I know for the finance committee, we have currently the current bids as is. That obviously, yes, at the last meeting, when we did appoint the QPA, that QPA is now no longer soliciting bids on behalf of the borough because they are not appointed for next year.
The risk manager.
Risk manager, sorry, not QPA, sorry. Thank you for correcting me. So as of now, the finance committee, between now and the December 26th meeting, we're reviewing what the committee's going to say we recommend, similar to kind of like what we were talking about with the the finance committee is going to review the bids that we have and then recommend this is one we should, on the resolution, vote for that. Vote for the most cost-effective one. So just review the cost for it. And then ahead of that meeting, inform all of council, these are the bid values, and this is what the committee is recommending on resolution XYZ based on that discussion. So that was in the interim between now and then, was to review the current bids that we have, because now we don't expect to get more bids, and then share that with council and say, hey, this is the recommendation of the finance committee. The larger council can say yay or nay to that. But that's where it was. I think that's where we're at right now, in between, in a few days, hopefully meeting to review what they are, get the initial questions out of the way, then provide that to the larger council, say, hey, the three-person committee vetted it, this is our recommendation, but then you guys all have the rest to then decide and look at as well. So that's kind of where I believe everything's at right now, in terms of where it is with the finance committee.
So how many bids have we received, or how many quotes have we received?
4.
And do all of those require a risk management professional?
No.
And so the email that I got stating that we would have to go back...
That was prior to me getting the other 2 quotes. I already had the Garden State, and of course I had our current insurance carrier. After the meeting, I contacted the risk manager that did not get appointed, and he graciously provided me with the 2 quotes, one of which that you obtained on your own, and then another one that he had, because I completed the applications with him, that he was able to get those amounts and he shared them with me. And all those proposals were forwarded to the finance committee for review, and with the opportunity to set up meetings with any of those GIFs for further discussion.
Considering that this is such a large issue, can you forward those to all members of council as well, so we have a chance to review in advance? And then also, for the December 26th meeting, is the intent to take action to sign up with a new GIF at that time?
Yes,
So when does our insurance expire with the Middlesex County?
December 31st.
December 31st. So even if we were to renew with them, would we be renewing prior to December 31st, or would we be renewing at the reorganization?
No, you would be authorizing the membership as of January 1.
It would have to be done at the 26th,
Yeah,
to be effective.
you can't wait until,
So there's no carryover whatsoever?
no.
And do we have a grace period if someone does require to have a risk management chairperson, to appoint that risk management chairperson?
So this is it. So you have the opportunity to, if you are looking to go with the central GIF, then we would need approval from them, because they require a risk manager. So we would need approval from them to become a member, and then have a risk manager appointed shortly thereafter. So if they said it was okay, then you could do that. But they do require one.
And then
And I'm sure Ms. Peroni could answer that question for you.
Well, and that's why I thought it would be beneficial, since there are so many questions, I think, surrounding this issue,
Well,
that I asked her
yeah.
to
So-
come tonight. And then the other question I have is, I've been told repeatedly, and when I spoke to a gentleman over at the Garden State JIF, he told me this was incorrect, but that the JIF pays for the risk management
No.
professional.
No.
No. It was said repeatedly, we
No,
don't pay for that, that
No,
JIF
what was
pays
said,
for
it was
that.
a 6% fee. Nobody's,
No.
I've never said that the JIF pays for it. The JIF, we pay the JIF.
Like
So
when
it's
Wolf
six
left with
percent
that
of the, it's 6% of the premium is what we would pay.
Is what the risk management share costs.
Correct.
And that's a negotiated fee. And then the JIF
No,
adds
the
that
JIF,
value.
the JIF sets the fee. And it's most often 6%.
Anyone else?
I'd like to hear from Mrs. Peroni
Well,
up there, because he's the expert, and we
But
can have
here's
her
the,
question
here's the
answered.
problem with that, right? So there are several options on the table,
Yes.
right? So, I mean, and there's plenty of information available, just so that you people in the public understand what's going on. The reason that we have to have a meeting on December 26th, unfortunately, Councilman Revelinsky won't be here because he'll be traveling to visit families. I'm sure we'd all like to be home with our families as well. However, at several meetings, nothing has been kept from anyone. This has been discussed in the Finance Committee since the summer. In September or October, I forget which it was, there was a resolution that had a small mistake, and it was pulled from the consent resolution and was asked to be tabled because it had a mistake which said that a risk manager that had been doing some work for the Borough of Milltown would be appointed. Never was it at any intent to usurp the authority of any incoming council or anything. It was to get the job done so that the Borough of Milltown could have insurance. We weren't happy with our current carrier, and we were looking to go somewhere else, and some of the companies require a risk manager. So this person was doing the job. Then we brought it to the last council meeting, and it became quite an issue that the incoming administration should appoint it on January 1st, which in theory is totally fine. Nobody's trying to not let them do what they want. However, it's because of the timing of the insurance needing to start on January 1st and the old one stopping on December 31st that we couldn't wait, and we have to put this meeting on and try and get all of our ducks in a row at the December 26th meeting so that the borough is not without insurance for any time, or that we don't wind up going back to the insurance company that we didn't really want to go to. So that's the reason for it. The Finance Committee has been well aware of it, as have all of the council members, because they voted on it since September. So we don't need to come here and say that this is a surprise, or people are being kept in the dark, or go off on our own and call up a bunch of insurance companies. Everyone is doing their due diligence to make sure that we get the best insurance coverage for the Borough of Milltown starting January 1st, 2024. Regardless of who you pick for the risk manager, we just want to make sure that if, God forbid, there's some catastrophe, we are covered.
Well, that's what I said, maybe we should hear from an expert, because
We are not,
the
this
more
is a council
information,
meeting.
the more
Councilman
information that
Collins.
we have, maybe we could save the residents some money on this. I understand there's a
This
significant
isn't,
difference
we
in
are not
price.
shopping for,
I think, Councilman
bids
Collins,
here.
the problem is that you have multiple proposals to take under consideration, and allowing a member of one of the entities from one of those proposals to come up and be your arbiter and your expert would be unfair to the other people who submitted proposals.
Well, why didn't the other guys,
I
companies
don't know
go?
who called whom. and-
Because they weren't invited, why didn't you?
Maybe we should have invited them?
I did, and actually the one gentleman said he'd got called away, and unfortunately he couldn't be there tonight, but he was more than willing to come and answer any questions, and the questions were not specific to their proposals individually, but rather the process which we all face ahead of us. And again, if it was not for the error in that resolution back in, I believe, September, in which it indicated we were going with a specific JIF, in which we raised at that time. I mean, again, tonight I sit here and I hear that the Finance Committee has no report, but yet, obviously, we have a big issue that we're up against, and it would have been nice to hear something that, look, my report is the fact that we have 4 proposals now to review, and that council got an email saying that we don't necessarily have to go with the Middlesex County JIF. So that would have been something to kind of calm the nerves. But when I got a phone call last week saying that we're going to be stuck with Middlesex County JIF because we don't have something, I started doing my due diligence to find out the true story, because I wasn't getting straight answers.
Okay, so we'll have that all by December, the next meeting.
Yep.
Next week, over the Christmas, before Christmas, I'll be reading that, I guess.
Any other old business?
Well, Madam Mayor, I don't know, I feel like the more education you have, the better off you are, but I guess we're not going to go with that.
That's right. Anyone else have any other old business? Hearing none, I will close old business and move on to, sorry, let me get my spot here. Move on to new business. Does any member of the council have any new business to bring before us this evening? Hearing none, I will close new business and open the meeting to the public. The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker has finished. It should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. Please state your name and address for the record when you come to the podium. Yes.
Good evening, Alan Gilbert for Third Place. I'm speaking on behalf of the Lawrenceburg Watershed Partnership, and we are having a second meeting since the end of the pandemic. And we're fortunate to have a gentleman who's spoken a couple of times before, but not for 5 years. Mr. Roger Dragon from Borough, and he's been a birder for, I don't know, probably 30 years. He's been all over this country and many other countries of the world as well. He has so much knowledge about birds, I'm kind of almost scared to hear it all, but he's very well informed, and if you have the time to come to the meeting, then please do. This is a week tomorrow, Tuesday the 19th, at the Senior Centre, starting at 7 p.m. We used to all start at 7:30, but we decided to make it a bit early, so we're starting at 7 p.m. So please come and join us. There'll be refreshments as well provided. But I think you'll enjoy hearing Mr. Dragon. He's really special.
Great, thank you. You want to leave a copy to put outside? Yeah, great, thank you.
Thank
Anyone else? Yes. Dawn.
Hi, thank you.
Hey.
Dawn Milburn, 12 Chestnut Avenue. The Environmental Commission had a letter that we would like to read for permission because there wasn't enough time from the last planning board zoning meeting to discuss this. We thought it was important. So I don't know if I want to give, if the clerk wants a copy,
Sure.
and then I'll just read the copy. Thanks.
Is it okay to read something for the planning board here?
You say what's the
Is it
topic of
to address
Is
to
it
the-
regarding a pending application?
Yeah.
It's a pending application, yes.
They can, she can read whatever she'd like regarding a pending application. I would just advise the mayor and council not to comment on it.
Gotcha, okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, dear Mayor and Council, the Environmental Commission has had several discussions regarding the Paper Street, Christopher Street, and environment. As we know, Christopher Street runs parallel to South Main Street on the east side. Several members of the commission have visited the area north of Lincoln Avenue and have a good understanding of its natural features and condition. As a commission, we would like to express our concern regarding the development of this area which has been recently proposed, and we regret its current natural status. Below are the reasons for our apprehensions. 1, the area contains steep slopes which are prone to erosion as a consequence of any disturbance of trees and other vegetation. And any resident can read that, I think it's 2424 in our ordinances. Number 2, removal of trees in order to develop the area would lead to water runoff issues for surrounding homes, additional pollutants in our water system, and noise pollution for the neighboring area. Number 3, as you know, mature trees enhance air and water quality. They absorb large amounts of water, which they distribute into the air via transpiration and act as carbon sinks. Number 4, the wooded area is a thriving natural habitat for a variety of wild animal species. Some of special concern are the Cooper's hawk, and is a stopover for various migrating birds such as the cedar waxwing. Many small animals make their home there. Number 5, as the borough was nearly completely developed and has one of the highest levels of impervious surface in the county, Christopher Street represents an important borough-owned natural area. We strongly recommend that Christopher Street be preserved as green space, permanently free from development. Our town has very limited natural wooded areas, and Christopher Street should be prioritized for preservation. In this way, this area can continue to provide critical environmental benefits such as plant and animal habitat, stormwater management, improved air and water quality, and noise abatement for our town. Thank you for taking our concerns and recommendations regarding this important and time-sensitive issue into consideration. Sincerely, let's have our environmental commission.
And I just might want to add, maybe technical comments, I understand that. I understand the next time that the applicant will meet with the planning and zoning board will be the first, I believe, Wednesday in February, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That is correct.
Which gives plenty of time for residents that are listening tonight and might have concerns. If you are a resident living specifically on Henry Street, or you live along South Main Street, or you live, off of JFK in particular, these areas are going to be majorly affected. And I don't know if any of you have ever walked Christopher Street. I honestly was not familiar with it until a couple of years ago when we had a Great American Bird Count. And some of us went to the walk, and if you were to look at that wooded area on a map or a GPS, it is a very substantial piece of wooded areas. It goes somewhere around the Schweinemann property. It goes all the way behind Mr. Whitman's heritage, where the development is taking place. It cuts across all the way to Lincoln Avenue, and then it goes and jumps the street and goes onto William Street. It's very steep, and if you read your, read all our rules and codes for sleep, so we take these steep slopes very seriously. This applicant wants to build a house on Christopher Street. For people who don't know what a paper street is, it is a street, an actual street that you'll find on a map that's never been developed. And this is a very densely wooded, steep area. The applicant would like to build a house at the end of the Henry Street dead end. And in order for him to build a house on his property, he needs some roadage. So the applicant has to do with building a substantially large house and actually cutting into, building a road from Henry Street and just building a portion of Christopher Street. And what I kept hearing at the planning board meeting were a lot of questions were like, how do you setting precedent? Remember, you might think of it as one house, but this one house is setting precedent for that Christopher Street to be opened up at a much larger extent. We're concerned about that. And in order for them to do that, they have to change the slope as it is. So we're very, very concerned, and we would like you to seriously consider the idea of making this open space. Maybe in the future we might have some kind of path so we can walk through it to protect it. I'm glad to see our new mayor-elect is here and our new councilman. I know they're very environmentally conscious, so we thought it was important to bring this to you as the existing council and to hear for the future council. We're hoping that we will really think about this carefully. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn.
Anyone else? Seeing none, I will close audience comments and move on to council comments. Are there any further, anything further any member of the council wishes to bring?
Yes, Madam
before
Mayor.
us this evening?
I was going to echo with the library report. I was mentioning it to our great member of the community, Debbie Miller, earlier before the meeting. I attended one of the library events this past weekend with my family, and it is amazing the events they have. A library that square footage is not large by any stretch of imagination, but the events they hold and been holding, and obviously you can hear from Councilmember Linsky's reports, the ton that are still upcoming this year. They're really, really special and really cool, and there's really fun for all ages. So as now a consumer of that event, I would say I recommend that. It was baby painting, 0 to 18 months. It was a great job. My art was the best, if anyone's wondering. But no, it was. But seriously, it's something. It's another thing that makes our small town really, really special.
Yeah.
The involvement at the library. So to the library director, all the staff in the library, it's very, very cool, and I hope all of our residents have a chance to partake.
Yep. And we have a few library board members in the audience tonight.
Yes.
And as was your wife was
My
a
library board member,
So we
yes.
thank them. It has been really reinvigorated, and they have a lot of great programs, and it's just another good resource for our town. Anyone else have any council comments?
Just something really, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No.
Okay. Just something really quick. Sometimes things that get lost in our consent resolution, I just wanted to highlight that we have, with the passage of that, welcomed a new officer and a new crossing guard to the town, and hope that they have safe and happy careers here. Thank you.
Sure. Yes.
I just, I wanted to echo on to Councilman Peretti's report. Since you're going to piggyback, I'll do the same. My daughter had signed up for the Mad Science last year through the recreation program, thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you do have a child who's interested in those days in February where you don't want them sitting there playing video games, I highly recommend it. It's fun. They do earn a little bit of science. They do a little experiments. They really had a good time with that. So the recreation program, I think we're seeing a lot of good things coming along, so please take advantage of them.
That is true. Yep, thanks to them too. That'll be fun. Anyone else?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask Councilman Revelinsky, what was that holiday stress day, the 13th?
It's Wednesday. It is Wednesday, December 13th, so 2 days from now.
You know what time?
God, I'm stressed out thinking about, let me check. Let's go to the videotape.
3 p.m.
It is 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Oh, noon. It is at noon. That'll be stressful if you miss it. It's at noon on Wednesday, December 13th. Did you say noon p.m.?
I said noon p.m. Just ignore me.
Thanks, Rich. And I'd just like to say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy Holidays to all the residents.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to, echoing Councilwoman O'Donnell's report, I'd like to congratulate Chief Kennelly and Lieutenant Canoni on their years of service to our community and on their well-deserved retirements. Thank you so much for your years of service. And I would also like to wish our residents Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. And see everybody on the 26th.
Yes.
Well, rest assured, the year in review report has a fun story about each of them.
Excellent.
Oh, boy. See,
Stay tuned.
You have to tune in on the 26th.
Looking
The room
forward
will
to
be
it.
full now, right?
Looking forward to it.
No, we'll congratulate everybody on their way out next time, for sure.
Sounds
Right.
good.
Anyone else? All right, so now my comments. I wish you all a joyous and healthy holiday season. Enjoy time with your family and friends. I've said it once, I'll say it again. We have a lot to be thankful for here in Milltown, and seeing everyone come together to enjoy this holiday season in a peaceful and joyous way will be a wonderful thing. So thank you all for being here this evening. And with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
A motion by Councilman Collins, second by Councilwoman O'Donnell. All in favor? Aye. All right, good night, everyone.
I don't even try it.
Something to me.